Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine Live. I am here to put together project number 2 from our worldwide virtual crop that's going on this weekend. Thank you for hanging on for me to have a little family time, and now it's time to do some live streaming, and we'll be putting together quite a few projects this weekend. So without further ado, let's go ahead and switch over to our tabletop. Here we go. Okay. Well, hi there. I'm thinking this must be Trish. Thanks so much for joining me. I've got our sketch number 2. I've pulled out my dual tip Creative Memories journal pen because when I showed my sketch number 1 the other day, I thought it was a little bit too light. I had just kind of my chicken scratch pencil markings. And now at least I think it's dark enough that you all can see what I've cut. I will say it out loud as well. But this way, if you want to do a screenshot, you can see as well what I have cut on my pages here coming up. And we're going to be working with the Welcome Home collection. I guessed right, it was Trish. And if you all want, you can definitely go check out their channel, Crafting Cousins. They do all kinds of fun crafts, and they also have a Crafting Cousins Create, where they do paper crafts, products as well. It's still early. Okay, so I have pulled out my rich brown cardstock, and I pulled out the package for it so I would remember whether or not I used rich brown or hot fudge, and I'm using rich brown for the base of this 2-page layout because I thought it worked better with my pages. And we're going to go ahead and let's flip this one over. I've also gone ahead and cut my strips. So we start out with, okay, hang on, I want to keep these in order because I liked the way they looked that way. But we do need to start with our base page, essentially, that's going to run across both of our papers. And this was just a 12 by 12 sheet. It was kind of a neutrally looking page. It has more of a tan on the background. And this is, I've used papers from both our designer and our tone on tone paper pack from the Welcome Home collection. This first one I cut at 9 3/4 inches. So this side is 9 3/4 by 12, and this side is 2 1/4 by 12. I'm going to go ahead and start by adhering these. And well, of course, as soon as I started, tape runner ran out. Let's go ahead and change that out real quick. It's a good thing I have a refill right here. Our tape runners are so quick and easy to change out. You just line up your large hole on the refill with the peg in the back and pop back on your cover, and we're back in business. Here we go. All right, let's get this lined up, and there we go. And I thought when I saw this layout that it looked a little busy, so I was trying to simplify it, make it a little bit less busy, but we're going to see how this works out and how it looks when it's done. I just really liked the idea of kind of a more neutral layout using the Welcome Home collection. So with these strips, what I did was I had a bunch of scraps from whether the project recipe mashup or the Sketch With Me series. And so what I did was I cut 2-inch strips first, and then I turned them and I cut it at 9 3/4. You can cut it at 9 3/4 or at 2 1/4. It doesn't really matter because basically you're going to wind up with the same measurement because it's our 12-inch strip. And these are going to run across our left side, kind of lining up with this other piece, the 2 1/4 inch piece, which makes sense because we took a 2 1/4 inch piece off for it to be on this right side. Here is where we're going to put the other half of our strips. So I'm actually going to start at the top and bottom. And again, if you want, you can grab out your 13 by 13 mat. You can grab out your zero centering ruler and get these lined up just right. I don't know, I might wind up pulling out my zero centering ruler because with 5 of these and getting them lined up just right, let's see how this is going to work out for me. I figure we're going to have about a 1/2 inch in between each strip. That looks about right, I think, here. There we go. I'm just going to go for it. If you've watched any of my videos, you know I tend to eyeball things a bit. And it just, scrapbooking should be fun. It doesn't have to be a mathematical process here. If you love math, make it a mathematical process. But I tend to be a little more kinetic, and so I just like putting the paper on the page and getting these pages done. I'm ready for my pictures to just be popped onto them. Okay, so here we go. Oh, it looks really kind of modern, doesn't it? So let's go ahead and line up these are the 2 1/4 by 2 inch pieces. And I'm going to go ahead and line them up in the same order I have on this other side, so that way it continues through the page. I'm going to start at the bottom here and get this one put on first. And then the top, and then we'll go through the middle again. Here we go. And I guess I probably should eyeball this and make sure I get it lined up reasonably well again. With my roughly a 1/2 inch or so in between again. There we go. That looks about right. Okay. And so this layout looks really complicated, but it actually isn't super complicated. And I'm going to make it a little bit easier by using some of our mats again, because I love the mats. They just make life so much easier. And I am going to let me pull out my sketch again. So here I pulled out 2 4.5 by 6.5 inch mats for the left side of the page. And then I pulled out 3 4 by 6 for the right side. I've also grabbed our jug embellishment and a 1/2 mat. Oh, and our laser cut borders. I pulled out 3 of them because I loved this one with the leaf and the little blue highlight, because I thought that would bring in our navy since it's the only other blue on the page. And I actually think that's probably what I'm going to go with. But I think this one's too light. It's going to disappear too much. And I mean, these both all have double sides, so you can easily turn them over and see what other color you might want to highlight. But I knew I put them side up to make my life easier when we went to do it. So I also had a 1/2 mat left over from another project as well. I think I am going to, I wonder if we could actually, maybe we should layer those. So that way it almost looks like yep, that's going to be it. The vine is kind of going up the little trellis here. And then since we have the trellis effect in here, that's going to go there. I've got the mats I picked out here. So let's go ahead and get the rest of this page kind of pieced together. Okay, so I picked kind of a gray undertone for the mats on the right side. And so I picked out, honestly, it doesn't really matter which way we put the mats on because we're going to be putting our photos on top of it. I picked these 2 that have the home with the little plaid on them with the gray undertone for this side. And I did pull this one as well, just in case I thought maybe having that extra pop, but I think that's going to be too distracting. So I'm going to put that to the side. I also picked some wood tones. So once we put our picture on this one, it's just going to show the same essentially as this other one that's all wood tone. And these are going to go over here on the left side. Yep. I also picked this one, but I think that's also going to make it too busy. So that one's going away. And then I had this scrap that was 5.5 by 4 3/4 because we have this circle on the page here. And I just didn't honestly feel like cutting an extra circle. So I thought, let me see if I can make this scrap work. But I don't think I am. I actually kind of like the stripes coming off of here. And then I also pulled out this Welcome Home from our embellishment pack. And since the title, they kind of have it running over here, I think I actually might put it on this side of the page. Well, let's see. I think I almost did like it better down here. All right, we're going to put it down here. Well, and I can always cut this smaller maybe. But I think that's almost, nah, it's distracting. It's coming off. I also pulled out, like I said, the jug. That's going to be on this side up here. Just to add some extra interest because we had, like I said, it looked like it was really busy, but so I'm trying to simplify some of this. So I'm putting the jug embellishment where these two smaller photo, you can easily put a photo on here, or you can add a sticker or something else and then make this one your journal box, which is what I was thinking of making this one my journal box because the lines are running the right way to write on them. I also had a couple other scraps, and I'm wondering if one of these might help our jug just pop a little bit more. Let me flip this. No, I don't like that. I like the darker. Nope. And let's see what this one looks like behind it real quick here. Okay, actually that looks nice because it draws in the same color from our embellishment here. Okay, so I think we're going to do that. And I'm just going to go for it here. So this piece here was, like I said, another scrap. Let me measure it real quick for y'all because I wasn't really anticipating using it. That is 4 3/4 by 3 inches. Just in case you want to try to do something similar to what I've done here, you'll know what that actual measurement was for behind the jug embellishment. And we're going to just kind of keep this, like I said, trying to simplify some of it. It still looks a little bit busy, but I think we're okay. Hang on, I'm going to have to grab out my multi-purpose tool because I think I put that one on crooked. And that's not so great. So with the regular tape runner, if you get it pretty much right after you stick it down, it usually comes up pretty quickly and easily. And I didn't put a lot of it on. Just want to straighten it out just a little bit here so my lines are running evenly. Because honestly, this really feels like a very modern layout. And I'm not going to use foam squares. I'm just going to go ahead and put this one on, which I know is unusual for me, but I just think this actually lends itself more to having these just down on the page here. So here we go. We have our welcome home. And then, like I said, once we put our pictures onto these, you're not even going to know. I'm going to line these up. Yeah, I'm going to line these up actually with the left side. I think it just works. And I'll bring the sketch back in again in a minute. It's looking at the sketch. It looks like theirs are over just a little bit, but I think they're also a little bit smaller. And I do like my photos to be larger on the page because, of course, they're the highlight of our pages. So we will definitely make them stand out with these mats. And I could easily put even a larger one. I could grab a peekaboo pocket and add an extra flap as well with that. So let me grab my repositionable tape and my parchment board, which I have shown in other videos. So if you want to know what this is all about, I will explain it later. Oops. Here we go. So our little lattice is going to run up this side, kind of breaking through a little bit of this end here. And yes, I wanted the navy to show, not the white. Like I said, all of our embellishments here, the laser cut borders are double-sided, so You need to make sure you get the right side up. And since this one says I'm using the repositionable tape, if I put the tape on the wrong side, I could have just taken my finger and rubbed it off. Oops. Okay, I worked up one of my leaves just a little bit here, so I'm gonna just take my tape runner and get that stuck back down real quick. I could have also used my precision point adhesive as well. Let's get this half journal box on. And I'm going to line it up kind of in between these two boxes on the right and my jug with the layering piece of paper or scrap. Here we go. Wouldn't that be such a cute photo mat? I think this will be great for maybe just a smaller floral picture or something. Like I said, I don't like to cut my pictures down too small, but I think this one looks like it'll work nicely. And then I also have a couple of stickers, and I really like the idea of actually incorporating this color in again. So I'm going to just add this one up on this side because a lot of times you do need places for your eyes to go. This one I am going to pop up on the foam squares and just kind of repeating the colors and making things cohesive work really nicely. I don't think I have any other stickers I want to pull in. So that's probably going to do it for this layout. Let me pull the sketch back in. And I think it's on the camera pretty well. Y'all can see that. Move aside my tape runners. So here we go again. We've got the jug, we've got the mats, and I did not wind up using the scrap. I mean, that's why it's a sketch. It's just a suggestion. You can see what you come up with when you look at it. Like I said, I used the half mat, and I only cut just a few. Well, actually, it was really just one sheet, and then I just used scraps for the rest of this. So it was a great use of my scraps, and I hope you all enjoyed seeing me put together sketch number 2 from the Worldwide Virtual Crop using our Welcome Home collection. Until next time.